Yeah, my name is Jamie Elder. I'm the Director of Urban Development with the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families. So I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Graduate Rufus King, business owner, got appointed to government 2.5 years ago. And I basically focus on issues of economic development, social education, and also issues of community outreach on behalf of the Secretary's office. My day-to-day job is basically Department of Children and Families. What we do is W-2, which is welfare to work. We also do child support for the state of Wisconsin, early care and education, which are child care centers. We also do child welfare through the Bureau of Milwaukee Child Welfare and other county-based agencies. Well, my role is outside, kind of representing the department in Milwaukee, Metro Milwaukee area on behalf of the Secretary's office. But I also work on trying to reduce employment barriers, primarily for minority fathers in the Metro Milwaukee area. Because one of the things that the Secretary believes in is that in order for fathers to re-engage back in the families, they have to have income security. So I try to look at their employment barriers, focus on reducing them, look at the needs of the labor force, making the connection, and it also means to create more jobs, to create more new startup businesses as well. I mean, my passion and drive that I figure out throughout life is basically focus on, how do we help people, achieve their level of prosperity in life. So one of the things I've learned, going through entrepreneurship, my days in the military, just being a kid in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is that, we all have our individual desires, goals, and dreams, but a lot of people have different barriers to achieving them. So one of the things I want to help people do is give them many opportunities in life to achieve their goals and dreams, and that's just, fulfilling for me and also just something great for society. I'm an avid reader, so I probably read about at least one new book every 4 weeks or so. I'm big on Amazon, and I also do a lot of blogs. Probably read two news. Then I start when as soon as I wake up in the morning. I read two or three different newspapers. Do a lot of stuff with Google Alerts. But the current book I'm reading was actually something called The Goal, and that was a book that was recommended by the Secretary, and it's focusing on how do you go back to your core purpose and what you're doing. So some people say, your business is to increase sales, get more staff, create new markets. But some people forget the goal is to simply to make money to stay in business. So how do you, prioritize and make sure you focus on your goal? And that's something I try to do in life as well. The main thing I see in successful people is, they are just disciplined in their approach, and also have this discipline in terms of their focus, identifying their passion, in terms of being hardworking. That there's a lot of distractions in life. I mean, especially if you're a young adult, young man, you can always look at relationships. You got the the nightlife. You have 1,000 opportunities as far as getting jobs and different ways to make money. But the main thing, you just got to find, what do you want to achieve in life? What's your plan? And then be disciplined carrying out that plan. And also, you got to practice patience in doing that. It takes an extraordinarily amount of discipline to understand that what you may want to achieve, it may be 5 years off, maybe 10 years off. But if you follow your plan and stick with your purpose and your goals, then you'd be able to achieve it. I think it's very important because right now we've gone from an agriculture-based economy into the industrial age, and now we're going from the industrial age into the knowledge-based economy, which is basically to IT and innovation. And IT innovation, I mean, it's going to move at the speed of light. I mean, when I was growing up, we were still using payphones. Now we're using iPhones. In the last 5 years, you saw how the internet, nobody thought that the cab service ever have a competitor. Now we have services like Uber and Lyft about to put the cab industry out of business the same way the internet came on board, put out the newspaper entertainment, disrupted the newspaper entertainment industry. So if you're not focused on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, it's kind of like those would be most of the future jobs, because most people look at the future job growth and they say 20 and 30% of jobs in the future don't even exist today. The number one subject I see, especially in my job, is mathematics. That's probably the number one barrier, academic barrier for people we try to get jobs for, whether it's a foster youth, whether it's a former offender, whether it's a non-custodial parent, a parent in general. That just mathematics is that critical skill that manufacturers are looking for, hospitals, businesses, any industry you could think of, there's some degree of math that applies to it. So if you just had a 10th grade level of mathematics, which is basically algebra, geometry, and a little bit of trig, you set yourself up bright in the future in terms of being able to get access to many job opportunities out there. So if you focus on math, that's huge. And also when you look at far as looking at the pay scale, what's a good degree to earn, or what's a good field to study in technology and technical school, you always want to look at something with engineering in title. So whether you're a computer engineer, whether you're going to be an engineer in science, whether you're going to be an engineer in biology, try to study something with environment. Engineering is definitely the way to go, because that's something you can't outsource. It's something that computers haven't taken over yet. Is that that human mind being able to innovate, engineer, always outpace anything regarding outsourcing or new technologies and stuff along those lines. That's a good question. I mean, the one that scares me, I would say, is probably 3D printing, because I think there's so many things we could do with 3D printing coming up. I mean, the idea that right now, if I'm using a hammer and I need to go and I lose my hammer, or let somebody borrow it and never give it back, I got to go make a trip to Home Depot or something, go get a new hammer. But I think we're probably about 5-10 years away before you be able to print a hammer off at home. In the next 20 years, I think the same way we got laptops and iPhones and everybody made it affordable, everybody to have one. Next 20 years, everybody have their own 3D printer. And once we have that, whether you're talking about tools, whether you're talking about utensils, whether you're talking about even spare limbs or glasses or lenses, it's like people would be able to print out that type of stuff at home. And so on one hand, it's great, because all these tools and materials people can access. Even like parts for your car, it would be be able to access it straight from your desktop. But at the same time, there's a large supply chain that's attached to those particular industries that would definitely be disrupted. So one of the things I'm looking for is what's the opportunities for 3D printing, but also looking at what type of technological disruption it'll have in our economy and also in our employment workforce. I think the government's role right now is basically, we have to create a climate for entrepreneurship to take hold. Is that, I know Milwaukee, especially Wisconsin, but in Milwaukee as well, is that the state of Wisconsin, agriculture and manufacturing is our chief drivers. We got healthcare out there as well. In Milwaukee, you look at the financial sector. But one of the things we have to do as far as saying, just as when, the founders of Wisconsin came there, they first started creating industry, whether it's the trade post on Water Street, and then you had Harley and Miller coming about. Those are all innovators and entrepreneurs. When they first came here, it was all about, for us to eat, for us to create a market, we have to create our own. I think those industries that we relied on through the 20th century, for various reasons, they've experienced decline, or they've hit their max capacity as far as what they can do as far as either growing or creating new jobs. Now we got to look at opportunities to say, what's going to be our 21st century industries? What's going to be the 21st century Harley Davidson? What's going to be the 21st century Miller Brewing and Johnson Controls, and so on and so forth. So I think the main thing, just as government, is to reduce the amount of red tape it takes for existing businesses to do business. We got to reduce the amount of red tape it takes for the person, for the college kid, for the young individual, for the parent, for the foster youth, for everybody who has an idea and they see a problem out there, they think they can fix that problem, and they want to monetize a solution. We got to create a climate in which they can do that. And it's okay to fail, but we also got to make sure that once they fail, that's not the end of the world. That they fail in a process to success. So they may have multiple failures, but that fifth time, through the first 4 failures, they'll learn how to be successful that 5th time around. So we got to make sure that 5th time around, that's the one they hit the home run, and we got to make sure that we can support that continuous innovation, because it's going to be a different economy over the next 100 years than it was the last 100 years, and we got to create a great climate for that. Well, it's like, I guess it's a double question. Because my first entrepreneurial pursuit, and I guess I can be honest about it, is that when I was about 14 years old and in Rufus King High School, was that I was one of the first kids in my block to have a computer with internet access. Back when you had dial-up, so you had to make sure nobody was on the phone or anything before you could actually log on. So eBay and everything first came out, I used to buy just for fun, just to try to look good at school, I would buy fake Rolex and Movados off the internet, from this lady in California, and I go to school and wear them. But a lot of people see the kind of jewelry I was wearing, we didn't know if it was real or fake. I just know it looked good, and so they wanted the same thing. So I would just tell them, hey, you want this Rolex watch, or you want this Movado or whatever, I'll get it for you. But I was paying like $15 for it. I'd say it cost $65. So they would go into their savings and they part-time jobs or whatever money they got from their allowance, and basically say, here's $65, give me this watch. So, but the unfortunate part is, Yeah, I was selling, stuff like watches and everything else I could find off eBay and anything I could find to my friends and colleagues and everything else at school and in the neighborhood. But the thing is, we didn't have programming entrepreneurs at Rufus King at that point in time. So I didn't understand, like, I was in business. I didn't understand the importance of, like, how to identify my market, how to address their needs, how to get more product from, how to grow my market share, and also more importantly, how to save money. It's like, for me, if I'm $60, that's me 14, 15 years old, that's a lot of money. But you think you go out one weekend, you could go to Burger King, McDonald's, and you can feed all your friends, you go buy some hats at Foot Locker or Playmakers or something, then you come broke Monday morning. So you can't even go back and get new inventory because you just blew all your money. So nobody taught me how to save and invest. So that was probably like my first business, but at the time I didn't even identify as a business because I just didn't have the mentoring that was necessary to get things done. I didn't have the resources and the program that's available to a lot of students and youths today. So I'm happy that we're making inroads into middle schools and high schools and even elementary to say this is what entrepreneurship is. This is the importance of it, but most importantly, this is how to do it the right way. So you're not going to be like Jamie Elder, where you actually do get something that takes off, you actually do make money, but then by the time you're senior year, you have nothing that left.